we're gonna look over Canadian sky, and then we're gonna look at the Premier Trudeau sky, his natal chart, comparing to the eclipse and Canadian sky, and as well we're gonna look at the United States, just for you to look at, just to have a perspective. Now you can see here, it is from the initial Canadian sky. I create direct sky and the moment of the solar eclipse. So you can see over here, moon and sun, it's in 26 degrees in sign of Virgo. And what's really important to notice as well, why it's called partial eclipse, because the moon much farther this time from the earth, therefore the sun not covering completely. This is why it's called partial lunar eclipse. And when it's partial, it's actually a little bit less intense than it's when it's completely full cover. So let's look at the Canadian sky. This is the natal chart, right, of Canada. What's really important for us to notice right away, the Canadian sky contain the rising sign, which is, again, it's a little bit speculative, the rising sign. You remember when we do countries, we always get into the noon of the time when usually all the activation of the sun and announcement of the creation of the establishment of a big organization in the country. So therefore, ancients always recommend, when we're looking at the sky of the countries, we should look at the highest moment of the sun. And we can see right away we have a Virgo sign in rising, right? And then the moon, sun, Uranus between the Gemini in 10th house. You understand? Look how it's important. And you know what? It's a very, very powerful position. If you'll watch my part 1 video, you can right away, you remember how it's important. We can see that Canada get in the horizon, in the sorry, not in the horizon is over here, but upper meridian, which is always comes with MC, with midheaven, with mission, with the final moment what country was created in the first place. And we can see it's in a 16 degree, and it's not far, couple degrees to touching the very important royal start of Cyrus. And so it's right away telling you then Canada has two polarities. It's Canada has some very high spiritual essence inside. And don't forget the nations who was holding the spiritual place, the ancient Indians, who really, the shamans and everyone who really was connecting to all 4 kingdoms of mineral kingdom, vegetarian kingdom, animal kingdom, our spiritual kingdom of our humanity. They actually really represent the Canadian energy in the first place. We really, but I don't like to say we all guess here, because the whole earth is created for all of us, but the essence, it's really, really huge and really, really powerful. And it's very progressive, inventive, and usually open thinkers. You understand? So Canadians really have a big, big potential in Canada, but not balanced and emotional stable. Can make quick, sudden decision and regrets later. It's represent radical, because you see the Uranus. So therefore, Canadians, when they choose in government, they come from 2 separate polarities, and Canadian government really always represent like a really, really big polarities. But something interesting happened in Canada for next year, because I'm gonna make another video only for Canada for the next 2 years. Big changes coming, big changes. But now the 4th house in Canadian sky, right, is represent homeland. Very important for any country. It has the opposition of moon and sun. You understand? And lack of protection and inner security. This is why Canada really need to go through a lot of things. Now, Mars and Rahu is foreign enemies in the 12th house. Let's look at the 12th house. You see? Now, what it says for us here, this is why Canada needs a very strong leader that knows how to stand and not compromise. And I know some of you won't like it, what I'm going to say. I'm not here representing anyone. I'm not pro Trudeau, not against. I'm just telling you right now, we always need to remember, every time when country has a leader it's according to the people consciousness. Somehow he was chosen by people. And one thing I want to mention to all of you, something you probably cannot hear from any astrologer, but when I look at the charts of leaders, of country leaders, they're not the most, powerful and smart people, but somehow creator choose to, but they chart represent exactly what the country needs to go through, and they become like a vessel which is need to go to put through themselves all the negativity and all the changes, all the progress through themselves in order for us to move on with the final redemption. And I'm not ordinary astrologer. Remember, I have a Kabbalistic knowledge, and I use a lot of my intuition, which is I always careful by saying, I see my visions, because as a Kabbalist, as someone who really have high level of responsibility, everything what comes from my mouth. I have to tell you guys, when I look at the Trudeau forehead, right, when you understand a little bit face reading and what is really forehead represent, because forehead represent our past lives, the lines of the forehead can tell you a lot of things about the really essence of the soul. Trudeau has a good soul. He has a lot of deep understanding, but his soul to agree to take upon himself certain level of negativity. We really, before we judge anyone, before we judge our leaders, we need to understand how much they're going through. Forget about, yes, we all have a ego, and of course he like a Canadian prince. He didn't knew a lot of luck what other people have to go through financially, but in the same time, do we really know what is grow in the environment where he was growing, and do we really have a full picture? So before we send negative energy to our leaders, we need to pray for them to wake up. And even though you want to change the leader, always go from the place as a creator, always go from the place of care. You understand? Because trust me, we have no idea who we are. We have no idea who we have people in front of us. When we judge others, or when we think we know who they are, we better really keep in mind what energy we create for ourselves while we're doing our own, when we play in the judgment. You understand? Very, very important. So for the Canadian chart, to come back to Canadian chart, when I'm talking about the Mars in Rahu, which is definitely we need strong leader, because Canada has a weak point in the chart in the 12th house for sure. Now, when we look at the Jupiter and Ketu, and you can see over here, it's really interesting for a Canadian chart in the 6th house is not bad combination, by the way. Why? Even though, the 6th house is the house of enemy, and don't forget, it's the house of Virgo, which is now we're going to have a solar eclipse in Virgo, and it's house of conflicts. It is also house of healing, medical discoveries, and natural medicine as well. And and it can help worldwide. I do believe Canada eventually, a lot of knowledge, ancient knowledge, and a lot of knowledge of natural medicine will come even more from Canada. And Canadian people, a lot of when we live in this place called Canada, we all share one energetical force. It's changed our life. It's you can have two people with the same chart, but they live in different countries. They're going to have different karma, different outcome. So I have to tell you, those of us who live here in Canada, we need to understand, by studying natural medicine, by study herbs, by study meditation, everything, it's with the essence of our place where we live. And it's extremely important for us to have the appreciation. And look at that. It's between river of life, the most positive, most like most I can't say I can't even describe how important these degrees. We have a 7 degrees. It's considered the most holy degrees of the whole zodiac system. And it's between Ketu and amazing Jupiter on Canadian chart. You understand? So Canada eventually provide a lot of goodness to the world, even more, a lot of kindness. And we're definitely going through right now big cleansing financial, because of speaker. Let's go to right now to what's happened in directly in this, what's happened in the moment of that. So look what we have here. Look what let's go to over here and to Virgo. And even though Canada don't have on the Canadian sky anything touch those degrees, but look at the meridian, right? The rising of Canadian chart. Look at that. You see the meridian, it's actually start from the point of star speaker. So what it's mean for us? You can see over here, we have in a position, we have a Neptune, right? And sorry, we have over here in the, not Neptune, I wanted to say we have here lunar nodes. Now the lunar nodes basically touching speaker right now. You see Ketu touching speaker. And when Ketu touching speaker, she's going to activate luck, because Ketu, according to ancients, and I believe it's one of the most difficult points we have in our chart. Not Rahu. Rahu, it's expanding our vessel, it's expanding our desires. It's a good thing. We just need to learn how to control. But Ketu, it's about luck. It's about, it's always looking how to fix something it's not broken. Therefore, I do believe for Canadians, we're going to go through financial reborn, financially again. A lot of people will do big evaluation. What does really money represent for us? It's extremely important. Now, let's go to next one. So just for you guys to understand, just to complete this particularly solar eclipse, it doesn't have, thank God, malefic. There's no any malefic aspect coming to it. They not any good positive too much, except the speaker. But to say the least, expect this speaker. Speaker, it's a huge star, and she loves to be beside the sun, because the sun, Hama, it's activating the, what is the Hama in Hebrew? It's sun. But what is the shoresh, the root of the word Hama? Is the heat, warm. So we're talking about speaker, which is the one of the hottest star we have in the solar system. Then we have a sun, which is our superior, the hottest. They together, they're going to provide a lot of heat. And the moon gonna be, moon will receive a lot of nourishment. You will think it's short circuit, but not. It's actually moon will receive a lot of warmth and nourishment. And because it's connected to Ketu, each of us, when I'm going to do 12 signs, you need to check your Ketu, you need to check your sun, and you need to check your Ketu in your natal chart, and as well in your progress chart. Ketu is the south node, it's the headless, right? It's the luck. We need to see what luck it represents. And this is exactly another secret for you. It's going to be affecting for you in your chart, with the, especially money-wise. In Canadian, we have, we have a Ketu, which is in the 6th house. So we're definitely going to experience financial luck, and it's going to be affected as well from the 6th house, this house for conflicts, but house of healing. So definitely Canada, and I see with this eclipse as well, there's a probably narrative of in other lockdowns, mini lockdowns will be coming. But you know what? We already, all of us have much better understanding who we are, what is represent, and how we should handle on our end. Okay, it's really important. Let's move to look at the chart of Trudeau and Canadian chart, right? So this is the natal chart of Prime Minister of Canada. And what we have here, we have Ketu. Let's look at the Ketu in his chart. And look at what we have interesting. We have a Ketu in the 12th house, right? And it's a position of the on Canadian chart and birth chart, if you remember, of natal chart of Canada, it's in a position of the 6th house, conflicted. So Trudeau, in his essence, in his past life, he came to be king, whatever it's mean. He came to deal with Canadian sky, with Canadian energy in a position in order to clean some energy for his process and the process for the people. And a 12th house is the secrets, it's hidden enemies, right? And what is this? It's connect directly to what's happened with Canada. Now look at the moon in Pisces, and it's in the 8th house. You understand, guys? He's a very sensitive guy. He actually have a good heart, but what's happened here? It can provide humiliation, disgrace, dark secrets, because it's in the 8th house. And look what we have a malefic Mars here. Even though he's in his own house, he doesn't like to be in Pisces, right? And let's look at his rising Leo. It's natural leader, kingship, you understand? And what we have, a Sun in Sagittarius, very strong. Look at this, Sun in Sagittarius. It's a very strong position. Then we have a Venus in Rahu. Look at this. We have a Venus and Rahu in the 6th house, which is extremely important house for Canadian chart. And it's good look. It's a good looks. You know, it's a good looking people can be very deceiving and misleading at the same time. He really cares about his appearance. Very cares. You understand? And he cares what people think about him. It's extremely important, especially in conflicted situation. It's extremely important for him to win the conflict. Okay, this is the combination. Now, let's look at the Saturn in the 10th house. Let's jump over here. Now, the Saturn in Taurus, last time he was elected, his transiting Jupiter was in the 10th house. You understand? It's interesting. And plus, eclipse was happening on his sun when he was, you understand? So even the moment of his election, he was meant to be elected, but right away from the start, he almost like entering to the fire without even, you know, he was himself delusional because he so cares what people think about him. He couldn't understand what's really he's getting himself into it. Now, the Venus is a ruler of the 10th house. You understand? And then in his 8th house, it's bringing the loss of the reputation. You understand? So the way how he's going to leave the place, he's going to leave with the loss of his reputation. And then in Rahu, in Mars, across 10th house, big changes for the country. You understand? It's really important, very important. So this is why I know some of you probably will feel conflicted what I'm saying to you, but I'm trying to take you to completely different understanding of this reality. Remember, we live in limited reality. We live in it's called Ulam Sheker in Hebrew. It's a direct translation, the world of lie. Before we judge somebody, before we think then we know what we know, then we don't know at all what we know, we need to always first step to send love energy. Always first step to send love energy. And when you're gonna make your conscious decision, what you want for your country, what kind of leaders you want, first step, it's work on your own internal changes. When each of us will change internal, will open our heart, start to control what comes from our mouth, start to control the thoughts, which is it's not who we are, start to really understand what is really to be creator and healer. Send a lot of energy to Trudeau. Send a lot of energy to all of our leaders. We have no idea what's to be in the skin. You understand, guys? It's extremely important. Let's look quickly before I'm going to end. I promise you, United States chart. Yeah, this is United States chart, birth chart. Oh, you know what, guys? I forgot to tell you something for Canada. Something very important. I remember I saw in Canadian chart. Let's go over here. Okay, so this is, look at the natal chart of Canada. Let's go. Trudeau. You see what's happened here. Look at the 24-degree we have in the 2nd house, which is important, very important, in Trudeau natal chart. And it's very close to 26, it's only with the 2 degrees of the solar eclipse. You understand? So for him, it's going to affect some of his financial situation. It's going to affect financial situation of Canada. It's going to create some sudden events in his life, and it's going to be something really malefic, and he's going to get himself to some conflict on a bigger scale, which is Uranus. It's all about a bigger scale, sudden event, and it's directly going to really, it's going to be even create an even harder situation for him, because look at this Uranus. Uranus, it's in a position of his moon, which is his moon in 8th house in Pisces with here. So it's going to be next year, start really already this year. Now it's going to be not easy period of time for Trudeau. So Remember, I saw many places in Canada made new slogan, F Trudeau. You should know, guys, every time when we swear, we right away letting other forces to come inside of us, because swearing, it's one of the most negative traits for the soul to use. Why? Because when person swear, I'm just sharing with you what ancient says about that. Again, you won't hear this anywhere. When you swear, if you know a little bit Kabbalah, and we have a 10 sphirot, the higher sphera we have, it's Keter. When we swear, we're getting right away to the Keter. It's like a drug, but then it's dropping us down under Malchut. It's same thing with the drugs. It's all energy. So every time when you use an F, or when I hear the Ukrainian as well using right now, in order they have slogan as well about the bot who came initially. I'm just giving you another correlation. It's not good for you. Swearing, do not use swearing. You actually giving away your own light. Be smart, be spiritual, practical. Okay, guys, so now I'm going to complete my part 2, and we're going to part 3. We're going to go all 12 signs. I'm going to do a quick review. I'm going to tell you what you should pay attention, because for the next 2.5 years, and especially for next solar eclipse, we have a special homework to do, which is directly connect to our past lives, which is our now and our future. Okay, so hi guys, as I promised you, let's look at quickly to on the United States chart. Okay, so this is the direct sky right now. What's happening? Let me put just right now. This is the birth chart of United States, right? So we have rising Scorpio. We do have Sun and Jupiter and Venus, and oh my God, in Gemini. Of course, this is what unique about United States chart, and this is why the Trump feel he's kind of the superior of his country. But this I will do Donald Trump separate chart. I don't believe he's gonna win at all. Actually, in the United States chart, when I look at it, and because of the lunar nodes, they're gonna change to Pisces and Virgo. You guys have somewhere hitting a female leader. I don't know. I don't see who's running as a female, but United States potentially can have a female leader, like somebody who's really going to make big changes and in your Judaican system as well. So we'll see what's happening with that. I will make a separate chart. Now, this is just remember the natal chart for United States, right? Let's go right away to the Virgo and look what we have in Virgo. Virgo natal chart, which is not far from Spica, 24 degrees. We have a Saturn in 11th house. Now, let's look at the sky here in the this is the sky at the moment of solar eclipse on October 14. And look what we have here. We have here, as you know, 26 degrees, which is not far from 24 degrees of Saturn in the birth chart of United States. When I look at the chart as well over here, and we have very interesting what's happened 30 degrees, you see, in lunar nodes for United States as well. I have to tell you, United States definitely waiting. Plus, I saw don't forget, we have Uranus, right? We have Uranus 28 degrees, which is not far as well. It's aspecting in a way this solar eclipse too. For United States, I have to tell you guys, the revolution is already in, according to the sky. It's almost like the country already ready to be divided in two completely different force of energy. It's almost like a complete two polarities. And it's better people wake up in United States and accept other people's opinion, and just to learn how to live together, or to create whatever borders you want to create. But you need to avoid any kind of, potential physical war between each other. This is not going to be good at all. It is actually sees in the sky. So I'm telling you what is in the potential. One of the reasons I don't do prognosis really like in a white and black, because then we're going to cancel the creator within us. Because what is the Kabbalistic knowledge? What is teaching us? We can change anything. Any moment things can change. Therefore, it's not, black and white print. There isn't a potential. We're all born with certain, combination, positive and more challenging, but it's up to us what we're going to activate and what we're going to use, what we're going to abuse, right? So it's really, really up to us. The one thing I'm going to say about United States chart, there's a big separation within people on much higher level, and people start almost like stop to have appreciation of what they have as a country. I'm working on completely separate video for United States, so I'm not going to make too many right now comments. But one thing we need to know as well for United States, just to show you again the birth chart. The Saturn 11th house is great, and actually Saturn in Virgo, it's one of the best position. So he's in the best house and he's in best. So what it's saying to us, United States was initially built from the literally blessings of the superior, of the God. And in the video I'm going to make, I actually attaching the short black and white video from one of the biggest righteous soul, one of my favorite people. It's Lubavitcher Rebbe. He actually going to tell us exactly his vision, what is United States, why it was created, and what is the essence, what is the mission of United States. Definitely watch this video. I'm going to put together something really, really unique. Okay, guys. So this is with United States. Now